Hey guys, welcome to Something Zen, the tarot channel for all of your new age and tarot and oracle needs. My name is Angelique, and today we'll be doing an April pick a card. So I'm going to be inserting a little video clip of the piles. So the piles, of course, are 1, 2, and 3, and I'll give you a little close up on the stones here. So pile 1 is this absolutely gorgeous blue gold stone. I love glitter, so of course I had to buy this when I had the chance. Pile number 2 is this beautiful fluorite. Ooh. And pile number 3 is this lovely rose quartz heart. I keep dropping the heart. I don't know why. But now let's go ahead and get into the readings and have some fun. All right, so for my pile number 1 with the gold stone, this is going to be your collective reading for April. So let's see, what is the energy for the week going to entail? So it looks like we have refinement. So for me, refinement is something that maybe you're working on something and it's not quite yet perfect or where you want it to be. This week is calling you to do those goals that maybe you've pushed off, those chores maybe you've pushed off, or maybe you have a project upcoming at work that just needs to be tweaked a little more. Just put your nose to the grindstone. You got this. It's a whole new month. So you basically have all of the energy on your side because it's brand new, clean slate. Let's do this. All right, so on to the tarot cards. So I do draw 6 cards, and once I have like a full-fledged camera set up, I want to do where you can look down and see the cards as I'm talking to you about them. But for now, we'll have to go about it this way. So our first card from the tarot is the 9 of Wands. So I know this card can kind of look, I don't want to say intimidating, but the imagery on it can look a little bit in your face and kind of scary. But this is mostly about defending like a position. You have all of this coming at you. But this lady here, she's not willing to give up. She is still raring to go, and she wants to fight for what she deserves or what she needs or what she knows is right. So it could be a conflict in your life where you know that you're right and you just need to keep pushing because eventually the other party is going to see that you are correct. The second card is the 8 of Swords. Now with these two, I can see how they kind of go hand in hand. You're feeling trapped right now. But the nice thing about the 8 of Swords, despite its imagery, is that there's always a way out. So while you're battling and you feel trapped, there's always a little back door somewhere that you can escape to. So you're never trapped. I kind of have the feeling this might relate to work. You're not being listened to. You're feeling trapped. You're feeling like possibly even you don't matter at this position or even in this relationship. Just remember, there is a way out. You do not have to stay somewhere that isn't making you feel fulfilled or happy. Our next card, 7 of Pentacles. So as you can see with the imagery on this card, she is literally watering her plants. And what does water do with plants? It helps them grow. It makes them stronger. So this is letting you know that somewhere in your life, keep watering that plant. It's going to grow into a gorgeous tree. It's going to give back to you, and it's going to help you out. And again, this could be with work. This could be a relationship. Heck, this could even be a hobby that you're working on. You might think that you're terrible at it. But this is letting you know to keep pushing forward. All right. And the next card is the Hanged Man. So normally with the Hanged Man, I like to ask, what are you not seeing from someone else's point of view? This could also tie into the previous cards of the Eight of Swords as well. You're feeling trapped, maybe because you're not seeing something from someone's point of view. So instead of having the whole story, you have a bunch of kind of question marks going, well, I don't know why this person feels this way, but guess what? I'm right. And in the end, yes, you probably are right. But take a moment, see wherever this conflict is from that person's point of view. Because if we can get a better understanding of those around us, it only helps our communication in work, in love, in pretty much every facet of life. Our next card is the Page of Wands. Now, I do apologize. My camera on here keeps tilting, so I'm sorry if I come out sideways on some of these. But the Page of Wands, now this usually, pages can represent somebody that's younger, so maybe you guys have kids that you're kind of not seeing things in the same, not the same, but from their point of view. Or maybe they're acting up and you feel a little trapped because you've done all you think you can do and it's still not working. But see things from their point of view. And I like to more so go off imagery than the old-timey traditional meanings of cards. So in this imagery, we can see that this gentleman is trying to hear something. So focus on your communication. I have a feeling that this reading is very much about communication, and it could be communication from somebody that's younger than you, or just somebody who really exhibits those childlike qualities of a page, of somebody who's up and coming. Listen to them. They might have ideas. They might even have advice for you. Just because you're older or in a more senior position doesn't always mean that you're going to have the answers. And finally, with the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords does represent leaving something behind, but in a good way. You are moving on from whatever was in front of this boat to this lovely little island right over here. Things are going to look really good for you. So that could be maybe with that conflict. You see this the other person's way, and excuse me, and you're like, oh, I see where you're coming from. I see where this is going. Now I can leave that trapped Eight of Swords behind and move forward in this relationship, hobby, career, whatever it may be that has you kind of feeling a little eh. And so I do have two other cards. These are the backs of these cards. I just have to show you because they're so pretty. And I pull these as kind of like the last messages for the month. And that would be, they could be advice, they could just be a message. So we'll start with our first one. And this is manifestation. And of course, what better time to manifest than the first of the month? You have that clean slate, doors are open. You are going to be manifesting something wonderful into your life. So get that candle out, get that stone out, however you choose to manifest. Maybe you write stuff down. Today is the day to write down your list of things that you want to happen for this month. Remember, this is springtime. Spring has sprung. It is time for new ideas, new things that you want. Maybe even a few different moves. You might be manifesting a new place to live. And here it is. It's telling you, manifest me. I am coming for you. In a good way, of course. The second card is Celine. And it says, bring light into somebody's dark sky. So again, I feel like this is telling you about your relationships. But this one may not be your close relationships. This could be your acquaintances, your work acquaintances. Maybe somebody's having a bad day. Heck, maybe you're the one having a bad day and you need to bring that light into somebody else's life. This is just telling you to be, I want to say conscientious. I don't know why I can't say that word, but I can't. Of somebody's feelings, how they're doing that day, or just in general. And if you have a partner, a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, even a friend who seems really down in the dumps, talk to them. I have a feeling that this reading was very much focused on communication for this month. So beware of the conflicts. Keep your ears open and do more active listening, and make sure to communicate and trust that you're understanding the person's side from where they're coming from. All right, that was group 1. So thank you so much for picking that pile. And if you enjoyed your reading, please definitely hit the subscribe button down below. Again, my channel is slowly, hopefully growing, so I could definitely use your help if you enjoy the reading. I also have things planned for the future as well for this channel, like we're going to do a Witchcraft Wednesday and a Manifestation Sunday, and of course those things will come along as the channel grows. But again, if you enjoyed your reading, please definitely subscribe, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye! Alright, hi group 2, who chose this lovely fluorite. Real quick, I do want to say I had to redo this part of the reading because unfortunately my phone for some reason didn't save it. So I do apologize, but that just means that the reading will go faster this time because I already know what I need to say. So this month's energy, which is kind of going to be the first card that I always draw, is tranquility. So for tranquility, this could be like just getting away to a quiet area, maybe some spa time. When I think of tranquility, it kind of goes hand in hand with self-care. We need that tranquil feeling to be able to recharge and reset. So have you been super duper busy at work? And are they telling you, oh, it's a new month, we have to hit our goals, we have to do this, we have to do that? That's all well and fine, but remember to put yourself first. This is definitely a reading where you're going to need to prioritize yourself. And then onto the tarot cards. I draw 6 cards. And then once I have like a reel set up, which means just dual cameras where I can have it pointing at the cards while I talk about them, we will do that. But for now, we have to kind of go along this route. So the first card is the 3 of Pentacles. So with this card, it is, excusez-moi, this is for business matters, and since there's 3 of them, this is usually talking about partnerships. It could even be, if you're looking at it in a love sense, 2 people with that 3rd wheel there. So I still take it more so for business, where you're going to be collaborating with your co-workers, maybe even your boss. This could be fixing issues at work, but again, in relationships even, or maybe you're trying to learn something new. And these 2 people up top are your mentors, your guides. They're teaching you how to do something you really want, such as, archery. I bring that up because I want to do archery. Piano, it could be baseball, it could be anything that you're interested in. So just keep in mind, you will probably be encountering 1, if not 2 people who are going to try to collaborate or team up with you. All right. So our next card is, let me get it up here, is the 4 of Wands. And I'm so sorry if my camera's tilting. Can never find a good camera holder. So the 4 of Wands does mean to, again, take into consideration yourself. make sure you're resting enough, because if you're collaborating with two other people and you're doing a project, you're doing a business, you're learning new things, you're probably going to be excited, which means you're going to kind of pour yourself into it. So don't forget to take time out for you. And I know this card can look kind of scary because she's sleeping under three swords. But again, I promise you, this is not a bad card. This is just letting you know you have got to take care of yourself and know when to rest. All right. Our next card is the Page of Swords. Now, most Swords cards, I always get the feeling of like very logical, very stern, very no nonsense. But the page here represents usually somebody who is younger than you or has that childlike spirit. Like she may be carrying a very deadly weapon in her in her hands, but she's like in a little tutu, and it looks like she's ready to go on stage and perform, you know, Swan Lake, the Nutcracker, something like that. So this could be somebody who's trying to remind you to have that kind of freedom, to laugh at yourself, to not take everything so seriously. Again, despite what the swords normally represent. So have a little fun with this Page of Swords. It could definitely represent you, but it could also represent somebody on the outside. This could be a friend, a coworker, pretty much anybody. I would say if you're really looking to pinpoint who this could be, if you know it's not yourself, take a look at the card. Whoever that person is that comes first to your mind, that's who this card is trying to tell you about. Okay. Our next card is the Eight of Swords. Now, this is funny because the Eight of Swords came up in Group 1's reading, and I used a completely different deck for that. I'm using 3 tarot decks for this video. And what's funny is, again, card came up again, but with the Eight of Swords, there's always a way out. So I would say possibly looking into it, going back to that Three of Pentacles. Maybe you're feeling trapped because you are that third wheel. Just take a really good look at everything and know the nice thing about the Eight of Swords is there's always a way out. There's always a back door. There's always like a larger set in the bars that you can squeeze through. You're never truly trapped. So definitely take a look at work. What's working? What's not working? Take a look at relationships. What's working? What's not working? You don't have to stay somewhere that you're not happy. And I kind of told Group 1 the same thing. But just remember, you're not actually trapped. I know a lot of jobs, especially in America, they like to make us feel like we're trapped. We are not. And we're kind of showing them with our rise of remote work and digital nomads and doing kind of what we want for the first time in forever. So again, you're not trapped. Do what you want within reason. This does not mean go out, rob a bank, and go move to Thailand. You know, I know it's I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption, so robbing a bank is on my mind. But again, this card is not as bad as it seems. Promise you. And then our next card is the Six of Swords. So after you escape your bonds or this situation here with the Eight of Swords, it's going to show that you are sailing away. You are sailing away from that trapped feeling, that toxic area. Whatever that Eight of Swords represented in your life, you are getting away from it and you are moving towards an island, calmer seas, a nicer house, a nicer job, a nicer friendship circle who takes you seriously. I have a feeling that this card is going to really start to come into play once we transition out of Aries season. So that would be somewhere in that cusp of April 19th, 20th, and 21st. So you're going to be transitioning along with the signs. So from Aries to Taurus. You're going to go from that Aries hot-headedness that could be pulled up with the Three of Pentacles when you're trying to work with two other people. And you're going to move into that calm, relaxed spirit of Taurus. Excuse me. And it's going to be such a wonderful rest of the month for you. I definitely see that. Finally, in regard to the tarot cards, we have the Knight of Wands, which again is just showing that we are moving. We are moving on up. And with the knights, they do represent movement, and each one of them, depending upon their element, and the wands represents fire. So with the Ace of Wands, it represents energy, movement, adventure. Maybe you're getting ready to go on a really nice trip somewhere. Have fun, move forward. All of the, I don't want to say all of the eggs in one basket are like ready for you, but everything for this month of April is going to go in your favor. It might not in the beginning, but the tables will turn and you are going to be that head honcho. Okay. And then I have two final cards, and I have to show you the backs of these cards because they're beautiful. Look how gorgeous these are. I love this deck. And these are kind of like the last messages that I like to pull. They're oracle cards. They're kind of straight to the point, and don't really require a lot of interpretation. So the first one here is going to be movement, which definitely, I mean, we're moving. We're moving. You got places to be and people to see. And this definitely, for me, kind of brings thoughts of like a dance party with your friends. So go to a concert. Take a. I personally don't like going to the gym that much, but if you're a gym person, take a Zumba class. I don't know if Zumba is still in, but take a class where you can have fun moving your body and having a good time. And I don't think I read the bottom of the card. So it says inspiration is drawn to motion. So if for me, that really also plays into like if you're an artist, if you're a writer, or if you're just somebody who's really creative, you might be having that block. Get moving, loosen everything up, and that writer's block just might go away, that artist block might go away. And hey, this will even play if you are a head honcho in a business and they're telling you, hey, so and so, we need new ideas because X, Y, and Z isn't working. This will help inspire those new ideas. And then our final card is curiosity. What sparks your interest? And for this, I definitely feel like this is telling you to kind of get into a new hobby, have some fun, take care of yourself more. What's something you've always been interested in, but you've never pursued it? Like, are you into aromatherapy because you're like, oh my God, I love the smell of lavender? Take a couple classes on it. There are usually free or very cheap ones that can be either online or at your local new age store. They love to do those types of classes. Or maybe you're like, hey, I've always wanted to learn to scuba dive and I'm curious about what goes into it. Take a look at it. Going to the more practical side, I would say at work. You have all of those ideas that you came up with the movement card. And you're not sure which ones you want to really formally proceed with. Become curious about each of those ideas because there's a reason why you came up with those. Look into it, draw little pros and cons up, and one of those 5, 10, 15 ideas that you came up with is only going to help you. So again, I definitely see April being a very good month for you. It might start out a little excuse me, a little rocky for you, but in the end, as we're transitioning into Taurus, you're going to be on top of the world. Things are going to go really well for you. So thank you so much for choosing group number 2. And I look forward to being able to read for you at another time. And if you liked your reading, please definitely hit the subscribe button. I'm a brand new channel and trying to grow. And we will be doing more things as the channel grows, such as like a Witchcraft Wednesday, a Manifestation Sunday, and weekly readings in accompany with the monthly readings. So again, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I'll see you back here next week. Bye. Hey, group 3, this is the lovely stone that you picked, the Palm Heart Rose Quartz. So let's dive right into your reading. So our first card is going to kind of represent the energy of the week or the month or whichever we're focusing the reading on. And since this is for April, this is going to be the energy for the month of April. We're looking at leadership. All right. And also one of my absolute favorite vegetables, broccoli. So with leadership, it looks like you might be called into a situation that is going to require you to rely on these talents that you have. Have you never been a manager? Have you never been left in charge of anybody? That's okay. Excuse me. You have all that you need to be a leader. You just have to step into it. So take charge of some things. Maybe at work they're looking for somebody to head off a project. Volunteer yourself. It will only make your job so much more enjoyable, as well as, put you out in front of your boss. You might be able to get yourself a raise after this. Or even if not, you are now that go-to person. So when promotion time comes around, who are they going to look at? The person who showed the best leadership qualities. At least they should. But I digress. So on to the tarot cards. I do pick 6 cards, and like I told the other 2 groups, when I do have like a full setup, I will have a camera looking down so we can kind of follow along together. But until I can have that, we're going to kind of just do it in this way. So our first card is the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands does represent somebody who is younger than you, but Wands is a fire element. So it represents somebody who's young, full of energy, raring to go, and wants to learn. Do you have something that you're kind of working on that you want to learn about? This is the month to really embrace that part of you. Charge forward like the page. Take all of the information in that you can. Become a master of whatever subject that most is passionate for you. Our second card is the 7 of Wands. Now I know this looks like a very terrifying card, but I promise you it is not. And it's also funny because the 7 of Wands came up in group 1's reading as well with a different deck. So the 7 of Wands comes, of course, after the 6 of Wands. We know the 6 of Wands is the card of victory. The 7 of Wands is keeping your place at the top. So this really awesome dude is defending himself in a way. And because he is so powerful, he's showing everybody, yes, I deserve to be here at the top of what I'm doing. I deserve to be the victor here. So keep that mentality moving through April. You deserve to be where you're at. If where you're at right now is not where you want to be at, defend yourself. Climb that mountain. Show everybody that you have the upper hand and that you can do whatever it is that you want to. In a good way. Don't take this as you can be pushy and a jerk at work. This is something where you're trying to show everybody that you can be that leader. Because there might be some people down here that are saying you can't be that leader, but you can. All right. Our next card is the Knight of Cups. So as we know, knights are those valiant heroes that we read about in romance novels. And the Knight of Cups actually leans more towards emotions. So this could be a representation of you feeling like you're very emotional this month because of the Seven of Swords. Maybe you're feeling a little tired because you're like, yeah, I know, Angelique. I've been defending myself. I've been showing people that I'm at the top of this food chain for a reason. That's okay. Keep going. You're almost there. And I do want to specify as well. I'm so sorry, my nose itched. Feeling your emotions is not a bad thing. You might be feeling a little frustrated. You might be feeling a little sad even, because we all know that sometimes anger manifests differently for us. But don't let that slow you down. Sit in your feelings, feel them, and then go on if you can. If you can't, take a few more days to sit in how you feel, and then move on. If this doesn't represent you, this represents your knight in shining armor. Not necessarily in love, but it could represent somebody who's coming in who has great emotional intelligence, and they're taking your side. They're telling you, hey, I am here to support you. Here I am. All right. Our next card is the Ace of Wands. So you guys have a lot of fire energy coming through here with the Seven of Wands. And I know this card kind of looks a little dark. This is from the Viking. I have the box around here somewhere. Viking Tarot, I think it's called. So the images are a little more gruff. But an ace always represents something new. So maybe that knight is coming and offering you something new. He says, here you go. This is the idea I have. Let's do this. This card represents pretty much that new energy, and what better type of card to have for a brand new month. New energy, new time. But the thing is while that offer is there, and it is kind of being delivered to you on a silver plate, or it's coming into your own mind and you're like, oh, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to do this. Aces represent the idea. You have to put in the work to make that idea come to be. So if your idea is, I'm going to open up a company and in the first year we are going to be positive in our cash flow, you have a lot of work ahead of you. This card, though, is saying that wouldn't necessarily not happen. So put in that work. This could also mean for those of you who aren't super into work, or you're comfortable where you're at, maybe a new relationship coming along. Maybe that Knight of Cups is actually your true knight in shining armor for a relationship. It's showing that passion is there, but again, it's being offered. You have to do the work for it. All right. So our next card is the Tower. Now, before everybody freaks out, I know nobody likes getting this card. The Tower, though, isn't as bad as usually the art on many cards shows. The Tower moment is something that you no longer need, that is crumbling away. Is it going to be shocking? Yes, fully. Is it going to be something that you probably don't like? Most likely. However, the Tower comes through like a wildfire does, and it wipes out everything that you don't need anymore, so that new vegetation can grow. Or in this circumstance, maybe it removes you from a situation that you've been involved in, and you know that it's toxic, but you just haven't had the strength to walk away. The Tower is going to come in, and like this lovely dragon here, he's going to blow fire on all of it. He's going to reduce it all to rubble and ash. And then from that, I'm going to be cliche here, and like the phoenix, you will rise from that ash. and you will have a brand new slate, which is kind of good because since this is a representation of April for this reading, what better way to start off than with a clean slate? So if you want to act before the Tower energy acts, I kind of, for some reason, I feel like this is coming in around the middle of the month. I would say almost into the transition into Taurus time. So around April 19, 20, 21, somewhere around there. But something big is going to change for you. And if you want to get ahead of it so it's not as scary and you feel like you have a little more control over it, start doing it now. Take a look inside, see what's going on, and look outside, see what's going on, and decide, what is this Tower moment trying to tell me? All right. And our next card is the Mighty Knight of Swords. I would say out of all of the knights, the Knight of Swords probably resembles the knight we are most used to seeing in storybooks, in TV shows, in movies. He's raring to go. He has his sword. He is ready to fight for his queen, his king, his princess, whoever is employing this lovely gentleman here. Is gentleman correct? Yes. So with this, I would say it's kind of after the Tower moment, you become the Knight of Swords. You are raring to go. You have your sword in hand. You are riding your noble steed. And you are charging into May. Ready. I see new things for you coming. You have this authoritative energy about you. You've learned where this Tower energy was. You have taken care of it. It is not going to bother you anymore. And you have stepped out of the page part of your life into your knighthood, and the rest of the month of April is going to be quite rewarding for you. And so finally for this reading, I do 2 cards that are kind of like overall messages, last minute messages, but I have to show you the backs of these cards first because look how pretty they are. I love this deck. It's gorgeous. Okay, so our first card is Cast a Circle. Healthy boundaries are crucial for growth. I have a feeling that this ties in strongly to that Tower card. Remember to be strong with your boundaries. And if somebody is not respecting them, use that Tower moment. Burn them away. Not really. Disclaimer. Did not actually tell anybody to go and burn somebody away. But cast your circle, protect yourself. For those of you that aren't familiar with witchcraft, casting a circle is where you can either call on the 4 elements, the 4, I can't think of words today, the 4 directions, anything like that. If you've seen The Craft, when they're on the beach and they call the 4 corners, it's like that. So when you cast the circle for yourself, you're casting yourself in protection. Think of it as you are standing in the center of a ring of salt and nothing bad can get in. That is your goal. You want to protect yourself. You may have somebody in your life who's taking advantage of you. You may have a boss that's taking advantage of you. Heck, you may be taking advantage of yourself and not giving yourself the rest and relaxation that you need, which is causing that Tower moment. And our next card is Yes. Just go for it. So burn down that stuff that you don't need anymore. Again, disclaimer, don't actually set fire to anything. But go for it. Whatever that little idea is that's in the back of your brain, do it. You will be successful at it. All right, and that was your reading. So I definitely hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, as I am new and hopefully growing. So every subscription definitely matters very much to me. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful April, and I look forward to seeing you again here on Something Zen. Thanks.